It's hard to declare one person as the best athlete of all time. However, one man who has frequently been given that title is Muhammad Ali, the champion boxer who is just as well known for his lightning quips as he was for his prowess in the ring. Ali was undeniably one of the most charismatic and engaging people in American history, and he offers a fascinating legacy that goes far beyond his monumental achievements in sports. However, there was nothing particularly remarkable about Ali's beginnings. Born in Kentucky in 1942, he was named Cassius Clay, the same name his father had, which originally came from a famous abolitionist during the Civil War. Young Cassius struggled with dyslexia and had trouble in school. Furthermore, racial segregation was the way of life at the time, and overt discrimination was common. Given these circumstances, it would have been easy for Cassius to give up hope for a better life. But thankfully, young Cassius Clay found an outlet for his fiery temper. At age 12, a local police officer encouraged him to start boxing. He spent several years learning the sport and began an amateur career when he was only 16 years old. From there, it wasn't long before he turned pro. For the first 3 years of his professional career, Clay was undefeated, going 19-0. During his matches, Ali began to develop a unique style and flair, tossing out quips and boasting about his abilities. Now, this hardly made him friends with his opponents, but the trash-talking persona quickly garnered attention. Clay's rising profile soon earned him a chance to take on the current heavyweight champion, Sonny Liston, in late 1963. Clay continued to taunt Liston in the lead-up to the match, comparing the champion boxer to a big ugly bear. Clay even joked that, "After I beat him, I'm going to donate him to the zoo." Soon, it was time for Clay to put his money where his mouth was. In a shock to the boxing world, Clay beat Liston and became the youngest boxer to beat an opponent for the heavyweight title. Soon after winning the match, Clay announced that he no longer wished to be known by the name he was born with. First, he became Cassius X, and then he became Muhammad Ali. The choice of this new name was inspired by Ali's religious conversion. Raised Baptist, Ali was drawn to a religious and political organization known as the Nation of Islam, which was focused not only on Muslim religion, but also on civil rights. At the time, many African Americans were drawn to the Nation of Islam's forceful messaging and its rejection of the status quo. This name change, along with Ali's flamboyant character, made him a target in the media. Many reporters refused to call him by his new name, and others seemed openly hostile to the young Ali's seemingly undefeatable skill. Never one to back down, Ali challenged reporters and became a polarizing figure. Inside the ring, Ali's success continued to shock and amaze. In a rematch against Liston, Ali beat his opponent in less than 2 minutes. He continued to dominate his opponents as he held the title of heavyweight champion. However, Ali's life changed dramatically in 1966 when the Army changed its admission standards for soldiers. America was in the early stage of the Vietnam War, and tens of thousands of young men were being drafted to serve in the unpopular conflict. Ali publicly declared that his religion was against war, and that he would refuse to serve if he was drafted. Many people were shocked and questioned his sincerity. After all, boxing can be a violent sport, and this was what Ali was famous for. However, Ali pointed out the difference between fighting someone and killing them, and when challenged further, he replied, "Ain't no Viet Cong ever called me the N-word." When he was formally drafted, Ali appeared at the 1967 hearing and refused to step forward when his name was called. This quickly led to his arrest, the charge of evading the draft, and he was stripped of his title. The Vietnam War was already controversial, and Ali's actions helped fuel the fierce debate over whether or not America had any business fighting there. Furthermore, people with sincere religious objections are usually given the status of conscientious objector and are exempt from serving. Many wondered if Ali was being persecuted against because he was so forcefully speaking out about civil rights. Ali sued the government, and the case went all the way to the Supreme Court. In 1971, 4 years after he was drafted, Ali's conviction was finally thrown out by a unanimous decision. However, a great deal of damage had already been done. Ali had lost some of the prime years of his life dealing with the legal issues and had been prohibited from boxing throughout the ordeal. Without the ability to defend his title, the heavyweight championship had been taken away. Now that he was cleared to box again, Ali would have to win it back. His return to boxing saw Ali fighting the new champion, Joe Frazier. The fight was a massive spectacle, and when it was done, Ali suffered his first career loss in the boxing ring. Undeterred, Ali focused on making himself better. Finding himself now older than many of his opponents, Ali had to train harder than he ever had before. Soon he staged a massive comeback, culminating in the famous Rumble in the Jungle against world champion George Foreman. Though the eyes of the world were watching, few really believed that Ali had a real chance of winning. Somehow, through a mixture of determination, stubbornness, and skill, Ali managed to beat Foreman and once again become the heavyweight champion. Ali's career would continue for several years after this, but he had already cemented himself as one of the greatest athletes in the world. As he grew older, Ali began to experience health issues. In 1984, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's, a degenerative disease that affects the nerves and makes it difficult to control motor functions. However, Ali didn't disappear from the public eye, continuing to make public appearances, such as lighting the torch at the 1996 Olympic Games. By the time he passed in 2016, Ali was an icon. His later life had been spent advocating for research into Parkinson's disease, and he was no longer the young, trash-talking rabble-rouser who had been the source of so much public attention. Indeed, one of the most remarkable things about Ali is how universally praised he became, despite having been such a controversial figure at different points during his life. Ali's influence looms large over not only the world of sports, but also politics, religion, and our attitudes towards war. He refused to be deterred by adversity. Speaking about the difficulties he faced in his life, he said, "It isn't the mountains ahead that wear you down, it's the pebble in your shoe." In life, little was able to stop Ali, and his legacy remains a powerful inspiration towards anyone who aspires to greatness.